All right, hello YouTube, and welcome to today's Out of Cycle Gems of War video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about dismiss. I know what you're thinking. You've seen this before in other videos all the way through this week. Different YouTube people who are more smarter than I am talking about what exactly happened. What I want to convey in this video is that things aren't as dire as it sounds. It's definitely not time to start refunding all of your Pathfinder troops that were responsible for all of these pretty much automatic loop. But I need to go through exactly what changed so that we can figure out where to go from here. So let's start with Chalcedony, since she's the one who created this mess in the first place. Um, so the first thing that we've noticed is that her mana cost for her spell has increased from 12 to 15. And then for her spell Petrifying Shot, the damage that she does is still the same, but she now only creates 2 brown gems instead of 3. And her boost ratio for all construct allies is also 2 instead of 3. So the difference is what she did before was assuming that you have all 4 construct allies on your side, you do 3 plus 4 times 2 be 12 plus 3 is 15. What she does now is 2 plus 4 times 2, 8 plus 2, that's 5 less. That's quite significant. And she now requires a lot more, a significantly larger amount of mana in order to cast her spell. I've seen some people talk about why didn't they test this out first? I'm based on the testing that I did. I can tell you and I can assure you they tested this out, because that's why they made all 3 changes. And I think that they did it because they wanted the AI not to be able to do this as reliably as it has been. I'm going to take their word for it. I avoid PvP whenever I can. So I've been in there maybe a couple times since they've revamped it. But I don't know. It's just not for me. And there's so much more I need to do in this game that I really couldn't be bothered to. Now, the good thing is, while Chalcedony, Secret Darkwood, and Todd Greenwood are this is pretty much their final form. Right now, I have all 3 of them at level 20, all 3 traits, elite gold. Can't get any better. Can't get them any better than that. Now, these shiny troops are a little bit different. So we'll pull up Huntmaster Boreas to show you the shiny things. So at shiny level 1, you reduce the mana cost by 1. Shiny level 2, you get an upgrade. You get the spell upgraded, and at shiny level 3, you drop the mana cost again. So what we're seeing right here is Huntmaster Boreas at shiny level 2. So you can see the mana cost has been reduced from 15 to 14. If I had him at shiny level 3, it would be 13, which would only be 1 more than it used to be. Look at the spell, you can see that it's magic plus 4 damage to the enemy, then create 3 red gems boosted by dragon allies. Looking good so far, right? Well, look at that boost ratio. It's the exact same as it was for Chalcedony, which means at shiny level 2, which is as good as Winged Shot is going to be, it's 3 plus 4 times 2, 8 plus 3, 11. So that's really only 1 more than Chalcedony. So bad news, right? Well, we're not done yet. Don't know why I exited out there, but we're going to pull up the team that I'm currently using for Huntmaster Boreas, and I did kind of tweak this ever since we started this week. And so you can see that I have Huntmaster Boreas twice, middle. I have Ruby Wrath at the bottom, and I have the hero with Dragon Guard class and Anu's Scepter on the top. So I've covered Huntmaster Boreas Pure Dragon, Ruby Wrath Dragon slash Boss, and your hero is Dragon slash Hero, assuming that Dragon Guard, which you should. So you might be wondering why Ruby Wrath. Well, Ruby Wrath is can be a depending on your luck. You probably could it have 4 of Ruby Wrath, or you could have 0 because it's the Crystal Dragon red from Suncrest. And now the spell is nice. It does damage to all enemies, has a chance to can convert red gems to red giant gems, chance for an extra turn boosted by red gems. All that's nice. I usually don't use the spell because it's really all about 2 of the traits that we see right here. First trait is important because it summons a firestorm at the start of battle. That means that red gems are going to appear more often than the other color. It would be nicer if it was a red at the start of the turn, but still Song of Fire should work out okay. The Ruby Aura is a little bit better in my opinion. It gives 2 magic to all red allies when matching red gems. And what I think is important with that is that means that every time we match red gems, that 48 is going up because the 44 is going up. It's calculated based on. The reason why that's important is because with these loop teams, because they will get stuck every once in a while, and they will take a little bit of time to get started, we can't be as laid back as we were before. We can't just simply be satisfied with eating the elephant one bite at a time. Because the elephant is going to get bored by being eaten one bite at a time and will stomp you into a pancake. So you do want to scale up at least the magic. If you scale up other things as well, so much the better. So that leaves the hero. You have the hero in the first position with Anu's Scepter. Anu's Scepter is kind of an underused weapon, in my opinion. It is from Sword's Edge. It destroys all gems of a chosen color. So it's not red. So I'm not going to get any additional magic. But I don't have any magenta numbers, so it doesn't matter anyway. As far as the upgrades, the last one is probably the most important. It enchants itself, which means that it will continue to get more mana as after it's cast for the first time. It does give 1 mana to everyone as well. What I like about using this, is, to be honest, is I just like to be able to remove all gems of one particular color, get the mana associated with that. I guess I should say destroy because remove means something different. So for this, my first priority would be to try to get green off so I can boost up Huntmaster Boreas without disturbing the number of red gems. Of course, if I can't really realistically do it with green gems, I might want to use red gems as well. I could basically pull any color I want off the board. I could even pull blue off the board if there's a lot of blue, and basically just refill this and cast it again. So that's something that you can do if you want to, but it'd mostly be green. And then so the traits, the only one that's really important, except for maybe reducing damage from skulls by 40%, since the hero's got to be right there in the front. All allied dragons gain 1 life and magic on 4 or 5 gem matches. With this team, you're going to be doing a lot of red matches, and you're going to be doing a lot of red matches with 4 and 5 gem matches, hopefully. So you get an extra life and 1 life and 1 magic from this on top of what Ruby Red is giving. So I can take a quick look at the talent trees and show you how I selected my talent trees. All brown allies gain 2 armor. This will only affect Ruby Wrath, but I don't have any Raksha troops. If I was using this in PvP, I would obviously use this instead. For fireproof, I get immunity to burning and fairy fire. The other two don't matter because I'm not using a jewelry or a shield weapon. Up in flames would be something to think about. It burns a random enemy when an ally dies. Fortunately, the hero itself is probably going to be one that goes up first, and I'm not sure if that procs when the hero goes down, but probably does. But either way, the barrier to start a battle, since the hero is going to be right there in front, is the better choice anyway. We don't have any knights, so this wouldn't do anything. At level 20, creating a firestorm at the start of battle sounds like a good idea, but Ruby Wrath is already going to do that for us, so there's no reason to select that here. Selecting Quick Study would be okay if you're just grinding, get some extra XP. But Razor Armor is good because that adds 20% of the hero's armor to any skull damage. So that's essentially adding a lot of attack power for when you actually do match skulls, and you will still do that. Gift of Fire, all red allies gain 1 magic, is self-explanatory. Neither of these really, you could make an argument for 2 to all skills in the first position, but this boosts our Hunt Master, so I'd rather use that. And then this one, again, pretty self-explanatory. You don't want to waste any opportunities to boost your red mana that you're gaining from red gem matches. Dispelling all enemies would have been nice, and all allies start with 15% mana, assuming you can do that with the metals without having, but this is really the one you want. Don't have level 100 yet, but I can give you an idea of what I would do. I would basically do triple skull damage to burning enemies, mostly because the other two wouldn't matter at all. But this one is the real key. So as long as you got Dragon's Guard to level 70 and you can select Firebringer, it should be okay. And I tested this with Explore 12, works nearly perfectly. The other team does get an attack in every once in a while, but this team will shift the board into red. Maybe a little bit slower than it used to, but it will get there. Once it gets there, it pretty much loops nonstop. The Eagle Loop troop is a little bit different, and this is the one that uses Egress. So you can see it's kind of the same idea of how some of these worked before. Egress pretty much doesn't have a lot to talk about as far as traits. Finesse is still a good one to go with it because of the last trait, which gives 4 to all skills on all Strix allies when matching 4 or more gems. In this particular case, particularly since the troop hero is a Stormcaller, that's all of us. So, quick look at the hero. The hero's in 3rd position this time. You can see I'm using the Staff of Storms, which explodes a bunch of yellow gems, grants a random status effect to all Strix allies, that's everyone, and summons a Strix troop, which would matter in particular if you had already lost one. It also has enchanting, so it does the same thing that the Staff of Anu does as far as getting mana every turn. But the traits, this is the trait that I think that makes this team really good. That is Storm Soul, which conjures a light storm when my turn begins. That's not at the beginning of the battle. That's every single turn. That is something that you're really going to need for these loops, for these loop teams, if you really want these teams to still work pretty well. And you can kind of go through these. I'm just going to go through the ones I've already selected. I've gained 8 life, cleanse myself in 4 or 5 gem matches. Doesn't usually come up unless you've got teams, unless you're doing something crazy. All yellow allies gain 1 magic. I think you can figure out that one. Fairy Fire, okay. All yellow allies gain 2 attack. Always good because you do more skull damage when you can. Explode 1 yellow gem on 4 or 5 gem matches. This is going to really help this team out because you're getting not only the yellow gem that you're exploding, but you're getting the gems around it. And then the last one, all Strix allies gain 1 attack every turn. And so that is a pretty solid set of talents. And really makes this team work particularly well. I think this team works better than Huntmaster Boreas, in my opinion. But they're both pretty solid. And I think that there are some of these other ones where you can still kind of do a team that kind of work on a team that will still work. Now, I will say this: it does take a little bit more thinking. It's not something that you can just simply um, turn something on Netflix and kind of watch in the background while you're just aimlessly just clicking the same buttons over and over again. But what I think is important is it does take that thinking that the AI doesn't necessarily do. AI is not going to be able to use these teams to their full advantage, which means these teams will struggle on PvP defense. And if that's the reason they made this change, then job done. And speaking of job done, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe to this channel, and or follow me on Twitch, and leave a note in the comments below. What teams do you think still work now, or which of these Pathfinders are you consigning to the trash heap? But that's it. I'll see you in the next video.